Hi everyone, it's Real Deal back for more news about Townsend, Massachusetts, and doing a follow-up today on an issue that was brought up by the Board of Health. It involves communication between departments. This time it's between the Board of Health and the police department and public safety in general, and even a little education for the people of Townsend, but mostly a concern regarding communication between the Board of Health and the Townsend Police Department. Now, I did a video on needles safety in Townsend back on October 11th. I did a clip, which I'm going to show you in a moment, of the Board of Health meeting where Carla Walters, our administrator for the Board of Health, reported to the board about an issue she had with the police bringing in just a box or Ziploc bag or something of used needles that they picked up off the ground. And I reported on how horribly unsafe that was. And Carla, I mean, that's what the Board of Health was identifying. And I, having been an experienced DMT many moons ago, I knew quite well this is not what protocol should be. And in the video, I gave a number of examples of protocols that could be used. I even got a couple comments in the video about you should have a different plan here, Townsend. But anyway, I'm gonna put the links to this video, the video from October 11th. I'm gonna put in the description in this video, so you can follow back up and see the whole video if you want. I'll also I'm gonna show you in this video the more recent Board of Health meeting where this was brought up again. It didn't happen again, but I'm just really shocked. And I'll get to that. But first, I'm going to show you as a reminder for those of you who saw it before, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll get to see this little clip for the first time. It's a good meeting anyway. You should watch the whole thing or it's a good video. You should watch it from the beginning after this. You should watch all my videos. They're mixed bag, but you might like them all. And please do like them all and subscribe while you're at it. Okay, I'll bring it up. Here we go. Now I gotta find it again. Oh my goodness. That's not it. You have it in front of you. I just don't have it in front of me. Oh, here we are. Let me see if I can play it. It's there. There it is. Stay back in my window. And I think I have the right. Oops, I gotta go back. I think I have to go over here to play it.
The police department came to me with a bag of needles. The container had needles that were in, so I could have poked my hand, and it was pretty bad. I was like, what do you want me to do with this? We had to empty them in, but that's not the point of the program. Is everything has to be an impervious surface, and if the police department is going to be picking up needles and just bringing them in Ziploc bags, that's not going to work. So hopefully it's just a one-time.
They don't have a container at the police department that they go in. There should be.
I think that they were picked up on the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
But there was, and they were in a Ziploc bag, and then the Ziploc bag had been punctured, and then the needle was in the cardboard box sticking out. So when I picked it up, there was a needle sticking right out, and we can't have that.
No.
So, Unitil.
Okay, so let me close this one out if I can. Bring me back to you. Here we are. Hi, I'm back. So that's that one. And that's what happened. That was back on October 11th where Carla was reporting that. And I'm really disappointed to hear that on the November 26 meeting of 2024, this is all 2024, that one of the board members, Christian, his last name is escaping me. Oh, damn. Whatever. It's Christian. That's his first name. So he's one of the newer members of the board. He was asking for a follow-up on November 26th. I'm going to play that video in a moment, but I'm really disappointed about this. It's been 2 months. Oh, no, a month. Well, a month and a half now that we're into December. I'm doing this in December. But the November 26th meeting was a shocker to see that no action's been taken. And I'll talk about the action that really, or the lack of action that really shocks me. But I'm gonna try to share this with you. I gotta pull up the video again. Let's see, Board of Health 11/26. There we go. And I gotta have the right window up. Yes, I do. Oh, it is. You have it, right? You can see that, right? Yes. Okay, sorry. Oh. Let's play it.
Okay. And with the permission from the chairman, I want to bring something up regarding a topic that we talked about, I think it was over a month, a few months ago, regarding the handling of the needle process. I don't know if you remember that the police have brought to Carla the needles on a bag. I don't know if you remember that time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should approve, not talk about in this meeting, but to think about talking about a possible protocol that instead of if something happens, that particular situation, that they brought that to Carla, to have us send it over to, I don't know, some professional like the EMTs or something like that to handle those needles and dispose them.
Fire department.
Well, this is, I just disposed of a ton of
Yeah.
them today. The problem is they were coming in just a Ziploc bag, which so what I can ask is we could set up a protocol for the police station and the fire department that when they come in, that they need to make sure, and I have the sanitary disposal, the sharps containers,
Okay.
so I can hand them that and say, could you please put the needles in these before I take them?
Okay, that makes
How's
sense.
that?
I think because what we want to avoid is that something happens in the disposing, and that occurs as like a custom from the police to bring it back here. I mean, and at least if we have something safe to
Sure.
to keep them and not avoid that situation that happened
Okay.
during that time.
Similar to a
Great idea.
Tupperware container, possibly, plastic container with a lid on it.
Yeah, as long as Carla doesn't have to, or anybody has to put their hands on the needles. I mean, not just, oh, here it is, but I left it to you, bye.
I think
No.
that's a good idea, Kristen.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we'll set up a protocol and we'll send it out. I'll draft something up and I'll have it for the meeting on the 10th. How's that?
because I think that
Sharps has containers, right? They could just give you an extra container.
Well, we have to buy the
You
containers,
buy
which is why I charge $5 for people to dispose of them, but the fire department and police department come in and they just expect us to just take them. The other thing that we could do is say, look, you're gonna have to give us $5 to put them in this container because I have to give you this container because I can't take them in the plastic bag. But then again, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's all coming out of the same fund. So
Okay.
how do we really want to charge you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. It's.
So, I
put 'em in
think
a
that
purple bag and.
but I think for the next meeting,
the other thing,
Start with those today.
the other thing that you could do is you could possibly give the fire department and the police department one of the actual sharps container and say, if you have these, put them in here and when it's full, bring it to me.
I think that sounds that sounds like like a more functional idea, and of course, have it on writing and send it to the police, to everybody that is in charge of that, because the thing is that, bringing it, I mean, I know that there's a mailbox here or something where you dispose from the sharps, but not, I just want to avoid what happened that other time, and I was thinking about it, and we shouldn't just,
You're safe.
You wanna make that effective for January 1st?
I think we should make it effective for January the 1st.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that on the agenda for
I
the
don't
next
think that's the
meeting.
motion I got.
Okay, so I got to get back to where I need to be here. I'm going to get these guys out of here, come back to you. Okay. I think it's Christian Roman. That's his name. I thought about it while you were watching the other one. So I think he may have watched my video. I don't think he was just lingering. Maybe he was. I mean, he's a smart guy. He could have just been lingering on what Carla said, but I think Christian watches my videos. I think they all do, but I'm not trying to brag or anything. A lot of people watch my videos. It's a good idea. Keep up on what I'm thinking, because you never know what I'm thinking. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. That was a very interesting but frightening conversation at the same time. Towards the end, they did come up with, hey, why don't we give the sharps containers to the police and fire? And it's like, I got, yes, in fact, that's what I talked about kind of in my previous video from the October 11th video. I did say the police need to have sharps containers in the cruisers or in the department, so that when they go on a call like that, or they probably should have one in the cruisers anyway. I know they got to find room. I don't know, somewhere because they could go on any kind of call, and everybody could, even a medical calls, everybody could leave the scene and somebody left a sharp on the floor, and they caught it and picked it up. EMT shouldn't be doing that, but things happen. Things happen out there. And I'm not accusing anybody of wrongdoing. I want to be very clear that this video is not about accusing anybody of wrongdoing. Shit happens. And this is something that we can do something to prevent the bad outcome. And I'm just really disturbed that nothing has moved on this since my first video, which I don't expect people to jump. Cindy King said something, we got to jump. And no, these are things that were brought up at an actual Board of Health meeting. I'm just reporting on what they did, and I'm giving my 2 cents. And the community's heard me. But the problem isn't solved. It's still hanging. I think nobody's looked into this. It's just hanging there. Like, this happened. Okay, next issue. Let's pay the bills. That's really what happened here. Oh, Unitil, because the first word Carla said it was Unitil. Let's pay their bill. No, we need to fix this. Giving simply just, why don't we give them the sharps container? And then, Carla gets all flustered about the budget, which it's really it shouldn't be a problem. It's this interdepartmental. I've said this before. I know I said interdepartmental in that last video, but this can be resolved. The police department can buy their own damn sharps containers. They don't even have to talk to the Board of Health. Really, they can go directly to the Neshoba Board of Health, or they can. It's going to cost. Disposing of these sharps containers is the cheapest way that I know of for other than medical people to dispose of sharps containers is to go through the Neshoba Board of Health. And that's what Carla's doing. She gets the sharps containers and she sells them, and then she gets them back to Neshoba Board of Health, best I know. And that's what I used to do. I even showed you some sharps containers that I've had diabetic cats, and I used to take boxes of these needles to Neshoba. And back then it was $5. I don't know what it is now. And that you can't beat that price. If you deal with pharmacies or God knows where, they're going to charge you all kinds of money, or you're going to be stuck with these needles. What do I do with these things? I like Nisho because they're doing everything at cost. Nobody's trying to make any money here on this public safety type of things. So I'm just shocked. I can't get over this. But I got a funny feeling that Chief Sartell at the police department and Lieutenant Peach, who I think is the policy guy, I'm sure that they have dealt with this on their own and just didn't tell anybody. I hope. I mean, I'm hoping that whoever this cop was that dropped off the needles did something he wasn't supposed to do it that way. That's an assumption I've been carrying. And that they really have a policy that's functional. I could be wrong. It's dangerous to assume. Assume means ass, you, me. You make an ass out of you and me when we assume. So I don't know. That's why I keep bringing this up. It's staring us all in the face and nobody's doing anything. The thing that's really disturbing right now, even the resolution in that video, Carla and the board, they decided that they are going to come up with a policy. They're going to write it up. Carla's going to write it up, and then they're going to vote on it at the board, and that's it. They're going to have a policy. They can't make a policy for another department. They can't. And even Carla's ideas don't make sense. Nothing against Carla. She's living in her little box in the Board of Health and what her job is, which I get that. But the problem here is it extends outside of Carla's job. It extends into the police department, and they have a job to do. And Carla's not out there riding in the cruisers. And I don't think they want her to either. But there's a whole nother world when you go out on the street and you're dealing with this. Carla's an administrator. She's not a healthcare provider, as I've said before. But the needles are a real health hazard for anybody that comes in contact with them. I just, the police, we need, like I've said, the town of Townsend does not have a communication plan. I've never heard of one, and I certainly don't see it now. And this is an excellent example of not communicating. No communication. October 11th, this is December something or other. And here we are, no interdepartmental communication on a serious public safety issue, public health issue, an employee safety issue, police safety issue. Police are all about officer safety. Hello. And then Carla's safety, Board of Health safety. I mean, my safety, your safety. This is insane that nobody has talked to each other. No one. There needs to be, it doesn't have to be a posted meeting of the Board of Health. Somebody between the four of them, those three men on the Board of Health and Carla, I prefer that it be Carla because they're not dealing, the guys aren't dealing with the problem on they're just part of the board. They're not dealing with this on a daily basis, even if they are interested. Christian Roman is a bit interested apparently. And thank you, Christian, for stepping up and bringing it up again. It's important. But somebody needs to have a meeting with the police department, either the chief or either the chief or Lieutenant Peach. Chief Sartell has delegated a lot to Lieutenant Peach, and I think that he should be. That's his job. I think Lieutenant Peach is really the policy guy, and I think he's perfectly capable. It's probably the best choice. I mean, I am telling the police what to do. Isn't that fun? Tell the police what to do. But somebody over there needs to have a meeting with the Board of Health in some capacity, not the whole board necessarily, just we need an administrative solution here. And hey, what's the deal? Was this a mistake? Can we have a policy? And Carla cannot come up with a policy that's going to work for the police department. This is an interdepartmental, town-wide policy issue and safety issue. And I mentioned the 3 departments: police, Board of Health, and Fire EMS. My thoughts about Fire EMS is you've got on the ground experts on used needles. They use needle almost every call. Maybe not every call, but maybe more than half. Somebody's trying to stick somebody with an IV or draw their blood, or they're trying to do something that's invasive, and they're using needles, and they have to dispose of them. Now, I do believe, I could be wrong, and this is an assumption, and this is why it's important that everybody talk, and preferably at the same time. They could do, if they don't want to meet, they could do a Zoom meeting internally. I don't know, some kind of conference call, but somebody from the fire department, fire EMS side of things can say, oh, this is what we do, and this is why we want nothing to do with you people. If the EMS is trying to bring their needles over to the Board of Health, I would say, get a life. Get out, go, do your own thing. EMS is busy enough with that they either have an arrangement. When I was on, my understanding is we had an arrangement. We had a host hospital back then. I think it was Neshoba, and we'd do exchanges of the sharps containers, which were the bigger ones. The bigger ones, like if you go to the hospital, you're sitting in the ER or something, and you notice a sharps container on a locked thing on the wall. That's what we had in the ambulance, and I'm sure that the same things are in the ambulances now, or something like it. And they have a plan, and these are medical wastes that are from patients, and somewhere in the process, they have a process to pay for this. You can't charge it to a particular patient, but there's some kind of, probably a grant. I don't know. But they may have something that's very unique that has nothing to do with the public Department of Health, which we don't have. We have a health Board of health office. That we have community members bringing in their used sharps container, and it's kind of helping our community save money, really, when we have this program that Carla has set up, and with Neshoba Board of Health. And so I'm assuming, just dangerous, I admit it, that fire EMS might not be able to play, or they maybe shouldn't play, if Townsend EMS needs to dispose of their needles, and they want to use the Neshoba program. I think they shouldn't put Carla in the position to manage it for them. I think they're busy, and it's my opinion. Cindy's 2 cents, and I could be way off base. I'd like to get feedback if somebody could tell me if I'm on the right track with EMS. That if they are using Neshoba, it might be cheaper than a hospital rate of disposing a box of sharps. They might be able to work something out with Neshoba. There might be something, maybe other ambulances. I'm going too deep down a rabbit hole here with them, but the reason I'd like EMS involved in the conversation with the Board of Health and the police department is you have expertise. They can say, well, this is what we do, and they could give their 2 cents that might be more current, educated about ideas on how to manage this, or what your policy should look like. And maybe there's actually laws. I'm sure even Rick Metcalf, who is our health agent, he's an employee of Neshoba Board of Health, and we contract with them to do real life health problems. Our board members and Carla, none of them are experts on health matters. Okay, because you didn't know that. So we need people to run, by the way. There's going to be an opening in April. So if, Rick Metcalf ought to be in the conversation as well. Let's invite all kinds of people. But there's laws on how to handle, delivering needles in a Ziploc bag is not in any law anywhere. So there should be a meeting between police, the Board of Health, preferably EMS, possibly Rick Metcalf to attend, to say, what's going on? Dear Chief Sartell, dear Police Department, do you have a policy? What happened that day? Is there an ongoing issue? We need a townwide policy so that if we got chaos out there, if there isn't a plan, no, we just wing it. We find needles. We just, what do we do with these? It depends on the day. I mean, there should be an absolute policy. I think, so if it's a police department finding needles on the road, which is probably, that's who's going to find them. If I were to find needles on the street, I have a sharps container. I'd probably just take them home and put it in my sharp. I know how to handle them. I would probably just put them in my sharps container and carry on with my day. I probably wouldn't even report it. I would just say, oh, Jesus, pick them up, carefully take care of them. But a lot of people would find them, and 9 times out of 10, I guarantee they're going to call the police. I got a needle. There's a pile of needles at the corner here. Okay. Police are going to respond. So I think the police should be a train driver on this, on how to make this policy functional. And then Board of Health needs to engage. If the police think for 1 second that they're going to just bring them to Carla, they need to stop right there. And there needs to be a conversation on what the policy actually is. But I think everybody there needs some expert information, because there isn't any. I haven't heard any. It's frightening what I just saw. I think that November 26th meeting scares me more than the October 11th meeting, because it's not solved. It's still hanging there. There's no plan. But I think also, I'm sorry, Carla, it seems like you don't know how budgets work. You could get money in your budget to have extra sharps containers. You don't have to have it as part of the exchange program. There's also, you could talk to the accountant about, interdepartmental transfers of something like that. The police, are going to, if you're going to, for some reason, supply the police with sharps containers, or you need to transfer like that, you could do a quick voucher. You could just do a slip, but you should have it prearranged with the accountant. And of course, the police department should know you're going to do this. But that's why you need to communicate together. That accounting is really not that hard, but accountants want receipts. They want documents. And if you've got like the cost of a sharps container, like you can't say, well, they're $5, I'm going to charge you 10. We're going to make this a profit. No. You need to work everything out with the accountant. What can I use for a slip? What kind of voucher can I have? And how, and the police has to accept it. Like if you're going to sell sharps containers to the police department, if that's how everybody decides to do it, knock your socks off. But you can just do a voucher. The officer, whoever drops off the sharps in the container, can just sign off on it. Or if that's a policy, but you've got to talk to everybody. Needs to be in the conversation. See, I've added the accountant to the see. We need a communication plan here, but you can just do that kind of a thing, and it'll move. It's like signing your invoices at the end. You can have a pre-planned event like this. This is day-to-day nonsense. Then even, you could have at the end, when you have the board there and they need to sign off on things, it could be in there. But you need to coordinate this with the accountant. These are easy peasy things. That voucher can, and the $5, whatever it is, can just transfer from the chief's budget to yours to pay for something that you already paid for, or that you're going to pay. However, that's working out for you. You don't have to, give me $5. Or you don't have to worry about it. It's easy, but you've got to talk to the accountant. So now the accountant needs to be involved with, if you're going to be selling these things, but only if you're going to be. First, you need to talk to the Board of Health, police, get some EMS knowledge on how things should operate. I don't know that they want to get involved, and I don't blame them. I don't know. I don't think it's probably a good idea, but you need to. That's a good expertise on handling of sharps properly. The proper handling of sharps, the expertise is over there on the ambulance. Okay. As well as Rick Metcalf on what the law might be, establishing a policy. Everybody needs to be on board. Carla should not do this on her own. And it wouldn't, I guarantee you, it probably wouldn't work because there's too much other input that needs to go into this. And it's really not that difficult, but it takes communicating between departments. And that's what frustrated me about this town for so long. And that's why I like going to different meetings, recording what went on, and then commenting, doing a commentary here. Because one board doesn't know what the other one's doing ever, even though they're working on the same program. Wait till I get on the planning board with the housing trust. Oh Lord, that meeting. I'm not going to go there now. But the Sharps thing, I'm disturbed that it's still not functioning. I'm going to be sending a note over to the police department, and if I happen to run into Chief Sartell in the next day, I'm going to ask about it, and I'm going to tell him to watch this video. And then I'm going to do yet another follow-up if I can get a feedback from the police department. I'm going to at least, if I have to do things completely officially, I'm going to at least do a public records request to see if there's a written policy on this issue. And also ask for a comment, official comment from the department, from the chief, or whomever wants to answer me. That will be, of course, knowing that I'm going to talk about it on a video. On what's going on here, what happened. I don't want to, I'm not even I don't even want to know who the cop was back in October or September, whenever it actually happened, because I have all kinds of assumptions, and I don't really care to know all the down and dirty details. I'm more interested in the solution. So I don't want to out the cop if he screwed up. I say he because we all male. We have no female police officers, by the way. If the cop screwed up and didn't follow policy, I'll let that to the police department. I mean, it's important, but they have a lot of policies, and if it's some new cop didn't know what he was doing, I got so many policies in my head. What do? I screwed up. Nobody on shift. The sergeant didn't tell me. Okay. They set me up. Of course they did. That's what rookies are there for, to get set up. But anyway, I'm going to try to report back, and hopefully I'll have better news than what I just gave you on November 26th. But I'm going to stop now, because it's just, those of you that know what I'm talking about, I know you're as disturbed as I am that this is still hanging out there, that this hasn't been resolved. And I don't want people to, well, I do want you departments to listen to me, because I'm not talking completely out of my ass here. This is important. And I've had EMTs contact me like, wow, you're right. Holy crap. That really happens? Yes, it's happening. It's still happening 2 months later. Lord have mercy. But anyway, okay. All right, I'm going to get on with this. The day's getting long, and I got to get ready to go to a meeting at town hall. I can report on that in a day or two. Okay. So if you see any needles, call the police. But while you got them, tell them to bring a Sharps container. Go get them. Go get them. Okay. That's all. Thank you for watching Real Deal Around Town. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe so you get notification, and hit the notification bell. And make sure you get notifications when I do the follow-up to this video. Very important. I know that I've got you hanging on the edge of your seat to see this important follow-up. So, do like this video, and like all my videos. And before, hopefully I'll get all the links on to this. Yeah, I'll have the links to the October 11th video in the description on this of this video, so you can watch the whole thing if you haven't seen it already. Easily find it. Okay, maybe I'll put it. Never mind. I'm gonna put it on the end. It'll be on one of those little pop-ups that's probably already sitting there. It's gonna be there. So click on that if you want to watch the whole thing. Okay, have a good one. See you on the next video because there will be another one. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks.